The car I'm reviewing today, that I was supposed to be reviewing yesterday, but I was enjoying a nice meal at a local Indian instead, is a GT3 that isn't a Porsche. Yep, the GT3 RS kids will have fallen out of their seats. Fucking morons. It's a smiley motherfucker, made in Surrey. Perfect. Roll the intro. Everyone, welcome back to CDT.
Hello everyone.
It is me,
Welcome
Ditto. What I'm driving right now is a car with very confused heritage. It was named after an Australian, I think, or it might have been from New Zealand, Bruce McLaren. It's the 650S GT3, and it is still very confused because underneath, well, it's lots of different things underneath. It started out in life as this. The McLaren 650... Nope, not the McLaren 650. The original MP4-12C. McLaren's second solo car. We don't count the McMurk SLR. That's basically a Mercedes. The McLaren MP4-12C, aside from having a name like one of Elon Musk's kids, was very confused and massively overshadowed by the Ferrari 458 Italia. It was not very successful, a lot of people forget about it, which is why McLaren eventually facelifted it into the 650S, which I would show you right now because it is in CDT, at least a Halloween special version of it, but I don't own it. Shame. Anyway, that car eventually got homologated into GT3 racing and got turned into the car we are reviewing today. I was going to say know and love, but people have still forgotten about it. Car dealership Tycoon turned 6 on the 12th of May, I think. So this is its birthday present to itself. That's also why the livery isn't actually real. On a very rare occasion for CDT, they've just completely given it a made-up livery. They've made it themselves. That's why you can see all the Car Dealership Tycoon and Foxy logos everywhere. Interesting and not very common for CDT. Most of the time, the wraps are either based on racing liveries or based on the spy camouflage things that you see cars that are under development. So, you know, like the one on the bollard. Or for actual racing liveries, the one on the Corvette C6 drift car. So, nice to see an original CDT wrap. This particular 650 GT3 has a 7-speed gearbox, and it shifts a little bit. Not very much. It's quite slow and sedate. I'm not sure I like it. I mean, for a hardcore track racer, it's pretty average in performance. Quite disappointing, but accurate. Because GT3 racing has BOP rules and I hate it. BOP means balance of performance. Just means all cars have a horsepower cap. 650, I think. Fitting for the 650S. That's also why Ferrari's 488 Pista, which has 700 horsepower, is more powerful than the 650S GT3. It's a little bit of a shame because I don't like spec series racing. I'd rather it be based on the car and just have the driver trying to keep it under control, rather than just all cars are exactly the same. Honestly, if things like, you know, classic British touring cars was just balance of performance, it would be incredibly dull. I like classic touring cars. But probably my least favourite part about this thing is the suspension. When I first drove this, I was running my own alignment on it. Now, I'm running it standard, including standard suspension. Which means that the suspension is both sloppy and bouncy. It's terrible. Like, look at the roll. Look at this. Suspension made of blancmange. And yet it still bounces over the bumps like a kangaroo. It's terrible. And then, as you saw in one of the earlier clips, yes, it does roll over. That is just terrible. Blimmin' heck. So, suspension's cooked. And the turning's hardly as good either. It is relatively decent, but still definitely needs work. There's a lack of feel, and it feels heavy. A shame. Still, could be worse. Yeah, it could be the car you have to unlock it with. The bloody Audi TTRS. I'm going to go into rant about that now, so I'll distract myself with a little bit of drifting. One of my favourite pastimes. Shame. It's grippy, which is a good thing, just not for drifting. Still feels far too sloppy. Still comes to a grinding halt in the middle of the drift, like it sort of slows to a stop. I don't like that. And neither end feels to have, well, much feel. It's disappointing. Why'd they have to ruin the 650S GT3? I mean, I haven't driven the standard 650, but, I get the feeling I'll probably prefer it. Great. Still, maybe it'll be decent on the race circuit. It's probably not going to be, but maybe. Just maybe. I am desperately holding out hope here. I don't like this thing, and I don't like the TTRS either. Seems like last weekend was a bit of a shit show. Sorry, CDT. Bit of a bummer on your 6th birthday. Right, come on, let's get this lap over with. Power. What little there is of it. Turn. Come on. It's so slow. That was a decent apex. That's because I was going so slow I could actually think about it. And once again, same thing for that corner, skid corner. Yeah, no, this is a terrible car. Come on, hurry up, get it over with. I have aged 20 years while that lap was taking place. I really don't like that 650S GT3, I think I've made that obvious. Thankfully, it has a hotter, rarer, older sister. My baby, the 650S? No. The 12C. Thanks for watching. Thanks to my rubbish scheduling, you're getting a world first for this channel. Tomorrow, I'll elaborate by not elaborating. Thanks for watching. Goodbye to everyone. And on that bombshell, there is no bombshell. Unless you visit somewhere where there's war, in which case there probably will be a bombshell.